Warning, the audio in this video might be because my cat would not give me peace for a single second to be able to properly record audio. Have fun. Good evening, gals, pals, and whoever else, really. We're starting off today's video with a little group activity. And so, go ahead and close your eyes. Just like that. And don't think for a moment that I'm blind to a lot of you that aren't doing it. Now, with your eyes closed, I want you to picture an apple. Just a simple red apple. Or green, I'm not fussy. Do you see it? If you said yes, then congratulations. You're part of the vast majority that can. Give yourself a little pat on the back for that one. Now, for those of you that said no, then don't worry, because I can't either. So, aphantasia. What is it? Well, according to Google's AI summary thing, it is, quote, a condition in which a person is unable to form mental images or visualize objects in their mind's eye. And it's considered to be a rare condition, only affecting 2 to 4% of the population. Now remember, 4% of 8 billion is still a lot of people, being 320 million. That means that even if aphantasia is rare, there's still quite a few people who may have it. I myself fall into that 320 million, and depending on how you answered the previous question, you might too. Now, there's generally considered 5 degrees of aphantasia, the ability to visualize things in your mind. This image here showcases possible things that people would see when trying to visualize an apple, varying from incredible detail to nothing at all. Me personally, I fall somewhere in between options 4 and 5. Most of the time, when I have my eyes closed, I don't see anything, just the back of my eyelids, which is black. However, when I'm imagining things, thinking about things, there's a small chance I'll see something in the dark. Vague, opaque, undetailed images. They usually just flicker in and out and stay for a brief moment. However, if I focus on trying to see something, I can move my eyes to outline what I'm supposed to be seeing, like drawing in my head. However, it's like drawing on a hot sidewalk with water. The lines fade and disappear pretty fast. And if I'm editing this video right, then I put some kind of example of what I'm talking about. It's not 100% accurate, but hopefully you could get an idea. Now, because I can't see anything in my mind's eye, you could imagine that it makes drawing a little difficult. I'm not sure what it's like for other artists, since I haven't been in their brain, but I imagine that they have a sort of reference going into the drawing. For me, however, I only have a vague idea. It can seem detailed at first, but when I actually sit down at my laptop or sketchbook, I realize there are so many things I don't exactly understand about it. Like, is that supposed to be here or here? How much is the arm supposed to bend again? Oh, what is the hand supposed to look like? The first idea that I get in my head before I start actually drawing, it seems detailed enough, but that's mostly because I know what I'm supposed to be seeing. And when I actually sit down and need to draw it, then that's when the lack of knowledge about it actually starts making my brain fall apart. As I'm saying this, I feel like I'm not explaining properly. It's really hard to express exactly what my experience is like, so forgive me if I ever start sounding, well, stupid. Because I can't visualize things, I can't hold on to the knowledge of how specific shapes are. One of the basic steps when it comes to drawing is breaking down what the outcome you're trying to achieve is into different base shapes. This is to help the artist see what they're going for on the canvas, so they can begin adding details to form the image. Breaking down the drawing is a big part of my process, but simple base shapes don't work well for me. So instead, I have to break down the breakdown, if that makes any sense. As an example for this point, I'll use the design of Bob Velzeb from Senor Pello's Spooky Month series here on YouTube. Specifically the neck of his sweater, because that's the first thing that came to mind when I was writing this script. When I look at the neck of the sweater, my brain interprets it as one shape, but whenever I go to actually draw it, that shape needs to be broken down into multiple different shapes, or as I'll call them out for what they actually are, different lines. For those that might be listening to this in the background, quick warning, the following explanation may sound confusing. And that is because I'm absolute dog shit at describing things. The visuals are gonna be your friend. You see how the sweater curves around his head? That's where I start when drawing it. First, the lines are gonna come out from around the head, kind of sticking outwards-ish, and then they would need to curve down into the shoulders. And then from there, Both sides would have to curve down into wherever the middle of the character's chest is. And then the upper part of the collar is the same, but lifted up to give the, collar of the sweater more volume? And then, there you go, boom bop pow, that made no sense. While it's just the basic way to outline the shape of his sweater, it is crucial that I remember exactly how to break it down. When I first tried drawing Bob without staring heavily at a reference in my school's library at 7:30 in the morning, it was just another confusing shape that I couldn't understand. Like an apple, for example. I know the shape of one, we all do, but my mental image of it is hazy at best. I can't just draw an apple without breaking the outline into different pieces that my brain can easily remember. I can remember the stem and the leaf just fine. I have drawn similar shapes a lot. In the same vein, I know how to draw the collar of a turtleneck sweater because I've drawn Bob Velzeb a lot. It becomes muscle memory and stores itself away into a folder in my brain for later use. When I don't have that file stored, then it becomes a process of figuring it out from scratch. If you look at my sketches or speed paints, you'll notice that I do a lot of messy sketching. I'll draw something, then erase it, redo it, and undo it until I stick with something. That's me trying to get the base shapes onto the canvas so I can start to see what I actually want to do. Another thing I should probably mention is my difficulty with drawing real people or in realistic styles. Because I can't picture things, especially details, you could imagine that it's difficult trying to draw friends or family or literally anyone else. Not only that, but I have general face blindness in the sense that I can't recall someone's face in my head, because, as if I haven't already mentioned it, I can't see shit in my head. I can't even draw someone that I've known my whole life. I'm really good at recognizing faces, but if you were to sit me down, put a gun to my head, and tell me to draw my grandmother without looking at a picture of her, it's not gonna work out. There's so many details when it comes to real people that my brain just can't pick out. At least not when I want to, because like I said, I'm really good at recognizing people. Whether it's by facial features, hairstyles, or body type, my brain has all that information, but it's just in a locked folder that I do not have the password to. As I've kind of been explaining this and writing this essay, I realized that a lot of the things that I'm bringing up sound like something a beginner would probably say. But the thing is, I'm not a beginner, far from it. I've been drawing since before I was in elementary school, and that's like over 13 years of experience, almost a decade and a half. But unfortunately, my brain just works different. I had to do a lot more when it came to learning. I had to develop my own methods. It was different when I was younger, though I won't go into too much detail, but there was a time in my life that I was in a constant state of dissociation for almost 6 months straight. And I'm pretty sure I didn't come out of it unscathed. Not only is my memory poor and my mind fuzzy, but my aphantasia actually ended up getting worse. So, I had to learn new drawing strategies a couple years ago. I'm not complaining though, I like how my art is right now. An exercise I think would be good would be to show off one of my speed paints and go through it, giving my thoughts and explanations on why I did certain things. I was originally going to use the time-lapse for my fish bun piece, but I may have forgotten to actually start the recording. Not only that, but I was going to originally use OBS to record, but my laptop absolutely hates OBS and will not run it properly, so instead you get a choppy time-lapse. If things go well and I get the money, I'll buy a real computer that can actually run it, and you'll get more than short speed paints and, Roblox pressure footage in the background. The character that I'm drawing for this piece is actually a character that I brought back from the dead that has been buried for a good couple of years, and I'm planning on making a couple projects with them. Anyway, moving out of that because that's not the focus on this, I haven't really drawn front-facing profiles in a hot minute, especially full body. So this was really messing with me. I was going back and forth a lot on the legs you can see here. And then the right arm really messed with me too, and honestly a lot of it just messed with me. The hands especially, but we're all artists here, we all know hands suck. But after a lot of that back and forth and undoing and redoing, I was able to kind of get what I like. This is obviously just a sketch, it's not finished, but yeah, honestly I don't know why I decided to voice over a speed paint if I don't have much to say about it, especially small points that I don't need to explain much because they're self-explanatory. Moving on. Speed paints always make the drawing process look shorter than it actually was, and that notion goes for this draft. You see, that drawing took at least 2.5 hours. It's not captured on the time-lapse, but there were a lot of times that I was simply staring at the canvas trying to remember what I was going for, or straight up debating on giving up because I was getting frustrated. Especially, you could probably get an idea of that when you saw how I was struggling with literally everything. Honestly, the inability to visualize things in my mind can make drawing take a long time because sometimes I completely lose the image I have, and that can be incredibly demotivating. There's a sketch of Sebastian Solis in my art book that I started in October, and I haven't finished the piece because I lost the image, which made me lose motivation to actually finish the piece. And that's kind of unfortunate since I really like how it looks. My aphantasia can also negatively impact art block, giving it a kickstart or making it so much worse. And during that 6-month dissociation stretch, I actually didn't draw much, if at all. But thankfully, I'm back at it and giving my all, and I do consider myself to be improving. During the process of making this video, there were multiple things that I had to do. Obviously, thumbnail art, and I already said, and you can see that I have redrawn my character sprites. And, you know, a part of the reason why this video took so long is that I was struggling with the art aspect. I was also struggling with the script writing and actually being able to record, but a big part of it was the drawing. I feel like I'm kind of in a constant state of art block. Only certain times I can get really pulled out of it and sit down to consistently draw something. And the other day I was able to draw this piece, like, within 24 hours, which was, you know, yippee, awesome. But unfortunately that doesn't happen a lot, and yeah, no, that's a big part of my issue with content creation, but I'm working on it. I promise I'm working on it. I'm gonna try not to take 2 weeks. It's actually been 3 weeks, almost a month in between videos. I'll do my best, I promise. Please, stick around, please. Okay, anyway, I kinda maybe lost my train of thought during the process of writing this script, and I don't exactly have a definitive point to end off on. So, instead of a proper conclusion, I'll just say bye and leave. Bye. Hello, greetings. Actual video Foster here. I don't know, I'm just popping in to say that I have some social medias that I will sometimes post art to, and I just got my ADHD medication upped, so, you know, I'll be posting more, hopefully, maybe. And I've got some projects that I'm working on. So, you know, if you're interested in any of that, stick around. My cat wants to say hi again. But yeah, I've got 2 big projects that I'm working on. One is going to be an animation, and the other is, well, I'm not gonna spoil it because I don't even know if I'm actually gonna finish it or not. But let's just say it's stepping out of my comfort zone and trying something completely new. Anyway, if that interests you at all, I guess subscribe and, you know, or follow some of my social medias because I will post maybe some updates or teasers there. Anyway, bye. I have nothing else to say.